vocalist, composer, arranger, pianist, percussionist, choir director, and educator. He's an award-winning composer, an accomplished and versatile musician, choir director, and educator. Brian attributes the success of his multifaceted career to a love of working with people and a passion for the arts. Brian has received his Bachelor of Music degree from the University of British Columbia and went on to further music studies in London, England, and Toronto. His love for music of many kinds has led to a diverse career that includes orchestral and choral conducting and performing, musical theater, and composing music for film, television, stage, and the concert hall. Brian has twice received Vancouver's Jesse Richardson Award for Original Theater Music, and his choral music is performed worldwide. As a vocalist, Brian performs with his jazz quartet at festivals, clubs, and in concert. He also performs with Don Pemberton and Carla Mundy in the vocal a cappella trio, Trivo. In 2010, Brian founded and is currently the music director for Vancouver's vibrant 100-voice City Soul Choir. Author Bruce Sanguin says of him, Brian doesn't just provide musical leadership. He becomes the music, embodying the message of peace, justice, and love in a way that is positively contagious. This is a man of deep integrity, whose music is driven by a deep purpose of personal and social transformation. Let's give it up for Mr. Brian.
Hey, good morning, everybody. How y'all doing today? All right, I'm so glad to be back at Shakes Fest again. This is really special for me. I'm so honored to be doing a keynote today. So the first thing I want to let you know is this is not going to be an inspirational presentation. Okay? Just so you get that. You know, like a TED Talk? You've seen TED Talks, right? Yeah, so this is not like that. This is not going to be, you know, how to get smarter or eat healthier or get richer. It's kind of the anti-TED Talk this morning. And the reason for that is sometimes, you know, I think we just have too much focus on trying to change who we are all the time, rather than just trying to be who we are. So that's kind of my message. And I thought, so when I come here with you guys and I've got my slot today, how can I best deliver my non-inspirational message? So I wrote a musical. It's the shortest musical ever written. It's got the smallest cast. And it's called I'm All Messed Up, and So Are You. All right. So, you ready for it? Here we go. So how many of you got asked when you were kids, what do you want to be when you grow up? Yeah, everybody, right? That's one of those, that's one in a series of traumatic questions we get asked when we're young. So I didn't know what I wanted to be when I grew up until I got into high school. And by the time I was halfway through high school, I got into band, I got into jazz in a big way, and I discovered this is really what I would want to do with my life. I want to be a musician. I wanted to be a performer, I wanted to be a composer, I wanted to be a conductor, work on all those three. But the thing was, what was going along with me all throughout school and all throughout that time was that I was dealing with a chronic amount of anxiety and depression. So what I really wanted to be was a semi-functional human being. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah, all right. So, and that's one of those things I'm still working on. So that's what I really wanted to be when I grow up. When I was young, I was pretty sure there was something wrong with me. I couldn't say just what it was, but it was my reality. I asked and asked my parents, but never would they tell. Then I saw there was something seriously wrong with them as well. I knew I wouldn't learn it from my crazy family. And a semi-functional human being was all I wanna be. If you need to ask the teacher, just need to raise your hand. But the questions that I had were ones they couldn't understand. Their facts and figures, charts and graphs just left me feeling stressed. Philosophically, I knew my teachers couldn't pass the test, 'cause they never told us who we were or how we meant to be. And a semi-functional human being is all I want to be. How do we survive? How do we ever learn to be alive? Well, I climbed up to the mountaintop. I wanted to be wise. The Buddha's waiting for me, and he opened up his eyes. I asked him how a human being might learn to simply be, and he laughed and said, "Oh brother, I was hoping you'd tell me." Well, I meditated and medicated while searching for the key, and a semi-functional human being is all I want to be. Won't someone tell me how to mix my mental chemistry? Because a semi-functional human being, come on, I'm not asking for a lot. A semi-functional human being is all I want to be. So I thought the way to becoming a semi-functional human being was to be successful at something. And so I worked and I studied hard with music, but I had my family heritage riding along with me. And what got handed down from my parents to me was anxiety and depression. My father was constantly depressed. He had obsessive compulsive disorder, and he was also a cop for his whole life. So he probably also had post-traumatic stress disorder long before anybody knew what that was or even talked about it. And my mother, on the other side of things, was very anxious, and because of that, she was really controlling. And I was an only child, so guess you got the focus of that. So I remember when I used to love to draw when I was a kid, and she asked me one day, "What's your favorite color?" And I said, "Black." And she kind of freaked out. And she went, "Black, that's very disturbing. If that's true, I'm going to have to take you to see a psychiatrist." Now, I didn't know what a psychiatrist was, but I knew it didn't sound good. So I said, "Okay, how about blue?" Or I could have said, "What color would you like it to be?" Anyway, so going through elementary school into high school. I started high school pretty shy and not a lot of self-confidence. And when I got into the music part of it, that's when I developed more self-confidence with what I wanted to do. Bless you. So from there I went to university, and I was paying my way by working part-time so I could go to university. So now I'm anxious, depressed, and broke. I got out of university and decided this wasn't where it was happening. I wanted to become a famous composer and conductor in the classical world. So I moved to London, England, thinking it was just going to happen for me. I didn't know anybody. I was just starting out from scratch. So now I'm anxious, depressed, broke, and completely delusional. And after about a year of that was enough. So I moved back to Canada. I moved to Toronto. I was a little smarter how I went about it this time, so I took some classes, I met some colleagues, I developed a community, and I had a kind of a pivotal aha moment in Toronto, because remember, I'm working towards this idea of success as a composer, thinking that's going to fix everything. So there's a certain point where I got a commission from the Toronto Symphony Brass Ensemble, which was a really prestigious group, for one of their main concerts of the year. I got a grant from the Ontario Arts Council to write the piece. The concert was being picked up by the CBC for a national broadcast. It had all the perfect ingredients. The house was sold out, it was packed. The group did a great job. The piece was a huge success. And it made no difference to me. It was like, oh my God, I had this successful thing and none of the other stuff went away. I was still dealing with the anxiety and depression. So I thought, okay, it's time to do some work on this. So I moved back to Vancouver. And this was the time when the human potential movement was really big, the self-help movement, which is still going on today. But this is when it was really happening in seminars and workshops, books, TV shows. And a lot of the philosophy went something like this. If you just have the right attitude, you can do anything you want. Or you can be anyone you want to be. And I tried really hard to do those things. But first of all, when you're dealing with anxiety and depression, it's a little hard to have the right attitude. You know what I mean? And it's a tricky combination, this whole idea of you can be anything you want. You can do anything you want. Because after trying that for a while, here's what I discovered. Cue the sensitive ballad. You can't do anything. You cannot do anything. You can't do anything, but you can do more than you think. You can't be anyone. You cannot be anyone. You can't be anyone, but you can be more of yourself. I know that doesn't rhyme. It's not easy being who you are. I'm still trying, and I really haven't got that far. There's only one of you, not two, just one of you. And one of you is who the world is waiting for. There's only one of me, not three, just one of me. And one of me is just the way that it should be. I finally made it rhyme. Well, as you can imagine, being who you are is not as easy as it sounds. There's a lot of trial and error that goes into it. When I was in high school and university, you know, I was different. I mean, we were all different, but I just wanted to fit in. I just wanted to be one of the gang. And what people did was everyone went to parties, everyone went drinking, went to bars, went to concerts, hung out together, and I tried doing all those things. And then later on that becomes, you know, networking and getting out there. And I just had a hard time with that. And eventually I discovered it's because I'm an introvert. And that stuff wasn't really known in those days. But yeah, I'm actually a classic introvert. And an introvert trying to pretend they're an extrovert, that can wear you out pretty fast. So introverts, it doesn't mean that, you know, you're hanging out at home alone all the time. It simply means that you need to recharge. You need to find your own space to recharge. You can still have friends, you can still go out, but you need to kind of know your boundaries around it. But I learned a lot about introverts. For example, Lady Gaga is an introvert. I know, hard to imagine, right? She's got this whole presentation on stage, but in her private life, she's an introvert. Actually, apparently a third to a half of the population are introverts. Which means a third to half of all of you guys out here, all you performers like me, you're all introverts. Is that cool? We could start a club. We could all go for coffee and not talk to each other. I'm an introvert, even though I'm on this stage. Too much stimulation makes me disengage. I wish I was more outgoing, but my tendency is showing. Thanks for having me today. Sadly, I can't stay, 'cause I'm an introvert. At a nightclub, I'll be at the exit pleading, can we go? At a party, I'll be in the bathroom reading. I'll be out in a minute. Introverts are cool. That's really all I came to say. Even as I'm talking, I want to slip away. Some folks live for excitation. I prefer my isolation. Proudly I assert that I'm an introvert. So at this point, my career is going really, really well, and my life is falling apart. The anxiety and depression I've been living with as I get older is just getting worse and worse, and it's really at a crisis point. And I really don't know what to do with it, and I'm having suicidal thoughts, and I don't know what to do with that, and it's like getting sucked down into a black hole. And I had to do something, and I didn't know what that was going to be. And then I got kind of a lucky break. I got hit by a car. I was walking across an intersection, and the sun was low at the top of the road, and the car could not see what was happening and ran into me full speed. Broke my leg. I went up, put my elbow through the windshield, went over the top of the car, landed on the street, and fractured my spine. Yeah, ow. It hurt a lot. But the thing was, I needed to be stopped. You know, I needed to stop and change things in my life. So I got stopped in a big way. I was in the hospital for about a month in a cast, and you know, there was like a broken leg is a broken leg, but the impact of it just really knocked the crap out of me. I was exhausted all the time. Once I was discharged from the hospital, I couldn't look after myself. I could barely move, I could barely get up. So I had to go back and live with my parents for a month. Yeah, remember my crazy parents? So now I'm back in my original bedroom, trapped because I have a cast on my leg, with my mother coming in constantly to see how I was doing. She was in heaven. You know, can I get you anything? How are you doing? What's your favorite color? You know. So at the time, I had a close friend that I confided with, and I told him about that I was having suicidal thoughts. I didn't know what to do, and he knew a therapist that had worked with that and connected me with this guy. And that's when I really started to recover from some of the really deep stuff that was going on. So it took a year before I was back to where I was before, but I needed that year to heal my body, and I needed that year to heal myself. And through that process, by the time I got out of that, for me, it was less about trying to change and improve and get better in my life, and more about taking stock of who am I and what have I got going on, and how can I make that work? Working with what I got, which also can have its own challenges. For example, one of the things I learned about myself my reality, ADD, you're a part of me. Sorry that I'm late again. Somehow I lost your address. What was it you wanted me to do? I know you told me twice already. I try to focus on my work, but there's always a new distraction. I try to slow my racing mind, but my brain is built for action, and I just can't seem to find my keys. Oh, welcome to my joy, my curse, my 1,000-channel universe. cause I'm getting bored. Slow it down cause I can't follow. See me do 12 things at once. See me crash from total exhaustion. Even though I'm all stressed out, I still need more stimulation. What's that song on the radio? And hey, there's a brand new series on Netflix, and I still can't seem to find my keys. Oh, welcome to my joy, my curse, my 1,000-channel universe. I used to think that I was gone insane, but it's just my overstimulated, over-medicated, rather complicated brain. Floating, flying, crawling blind, calling, crying, where's my mind? It's my reality, it's the source of my frustration, it's my creativity, my source of inspiration. It's a part of what I do, and I wouldn't give that up for anything. It's a part of who I am, and I get to live my passion. And wait a minute, I just found my key. Yeah, welcome to my joy, my curse, my 1,000-channel universe. I used to think that I was gone insane, but it's just my overstimulated, over-medicated, always agitated, highly overrated, rather complicated brain. So I said at the beginning of the show that I wanted to become a musician, a composer, performer, and I got to be all of those things. But interestingly, none of those happened the way I thought they would turn out. Every one of those had a different path that led me in a different place. None of it fit my picture. But yet I get to do all those things, and I love it, and it's the greatest thing in the world. But I had to really let go of a lot of pictures for that to happen. And the other thing I said was I wanted to become a semi-functional human being, and that's something I'm still working on. So this brings us to the finale of our musical, which is the title song of the show. I'm all stressed out. I'm all messed up, and so are you. And it's a sing-along. Because, hey, we're all messed up, right? So when I talk about being messed up, there's two meanings about that. One of which is we all have our stuff, right? It's stuff. It's stuff we work through. And you will have it forever. It's just one of those things. It's part of being human. Your stuff will change, how you deal with it will change, but it's a part of what we carry through our lives, and it's what makes us who we are. And the other idea about being messed up is this, that being human is messy. Humans are just messy. You know, it's like things don't work in a straight line. Things don't get, like in the movies, things don't get tied up in a bow at the end. There is no end. It just keeps on going. You know, it's like your room. It just kind of spreads out all over the place. But that's good, because messy means you're alive. When you're dealing with the messiness of being human, it means you're fully alive and engaging with that. So let's celebrate our messiness, and we'll do the finale together. Okay, so it's kind of like a call and response. So I sing the line, I'm all messed up and so are you. And you all sing, we're all messed up. Got that? Let's try it. I'm all messed up and so are you.
We're all messed up.
Yeah, there we go. Every time it comes around. All right, here we go. I'm all messed up and so are you.
We're all messed up.
Yeah, there's always crap we're going through.
We're all messed up.
We don't like to confess it, but we know we must address it. Yeah, I'm all messed up and so are you.
We're all messed up.
But we're breaking down, we're breaking through.
We're all messed up.
We might not like to talk about it, but we never are without it. Oh, we all drink together from was told, don't talk, don't speak. You can't afford to look weak. Don't ask, don't tell. That's living a kind of hell. Oh, I'm all messed up, and so are you.
We're all messed up.
Please, someone tell me what to do.
We're all messed up.
Yeah, we're in for stormy weather, in a creaky boat together. Oh, we all drink together from a cracked and leaky cup. You and me and everyone.
We're all messed up.
Come on now, you and me and everyone.
We're all messed up.
We're all messed up. Here we go, come on now.
We're all messed up.
Last time.
We're all messed up.
Yeah, yeah.